Okay, we're going to practice some NWEA test practice questions today, and these are questions or types of questions that you will see on your test. Before we get started, as always, I encourage you to try to pause the video and solve these problems first before you follow along with me. And there's 10 questions, so let's get started. Question number 1 says Manuel paid 34 cents for gum. He gave the clerk $1. Okay, so he gave the clerk $1. He paid 34 cents. Which picture shows the correct change? So when we're talking about change, we are talking about subtraction. Okay, so this is going to be a subtraction problem at first. Well, let's do that subtraction then. We know $1 is equal to 100 cents. Okay, there's 100 pennies and $1. So if we want to find the change that he should get back for buying his piece of gum, we're going to take that 100 cents and we're going to subtract what Manuel paid. Well, he paid 34 cents. What is 100? Well, let me draw that a little straighter. What is 100 minus 34? Well, let's figure it out. We'll make this a 10, cross it out and make it a 9, make this a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, 9 minus 3 is 6, nothing minus nothing, well that's just 0. So he should be getting back in change 66 cents. Okay, so we found how much he should be getting back. Now we need to figure out which picture shows 66 cents. Well, let's find that out too. Okay, well, we have here, this is a quarter, and quarters are worth 25 cents. So we have 2 quarters, or we have 3 quarters, excuse me, and we have 1 penny, which is worth 1 cent. So does all of this equal 66 cents? No, it does not. 25 plus 25 plus 25, well, that's 75 plus 1 penny. That's 76 cents. So that's not 66. Let's do the next one. We have 25 cents plus 25 cents plus 10 cents plus 5 cents plus 1 cent. Well, 25 plus 25 is 50. 50 plus 10 is 60. 60 plus 5 is 65. And 60 plus 1, or 65 plus 1, is 66 cents. So we know we do not have to go any further. B is the correct answer. Let's go to problem 2. This says Marshall buys a pencil for 12 cents and a sticker for 5 cents. He has no money left over. How much did Marshall pay in all? Okay, in all, we know in all means we are going to be doing addition. How much did he pay in all? Move a number and a symbol to the lines to show the answer. So we need to pick 2 of these things to add to our lines over because we have a number and a symbol. Well, the first thing to do is figure out how much did he pay in all. Well, he paid 12 cents for a pencil, and he paid 5 cents for a sticker. So in total, he paid 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 0, that is 1. He paid 70 cents in all. 17 cents. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this 17 and we're going to move it over here. So it's going to say 17. But we also need to put the symbol. Okay, did he pay $17 or did he pay 17 cents? Well, here's our cents. He paid 17 cents. So let's move our cents right here. He paid 17 cents in all. Okay, problem number 3. It says use the array to answer the question. What is the total number of objects in the array? Enter the answer in the box. Okay, so there's a couple ways for us to do this. So here's an array, and we see that we have a total number of some type of object. We'll call them circles for now. So one way that we can do this is we can simply count the arrays. So we could say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you can see that in this array, there are 12 objects in this array. And that's fine. That's a completely okay strategy to use when you have a small array like this, but sometimes you have really, really big arrays where counting's not going to be the best use of your time. So what we can do for arrays is we can treat them like area problems, and we can do multiplication, and we could say, well, how many rows do we have here? Well, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 rows. And we can come and we can say, well, how many columns do we have here? Well, we have 4 columns. And we can take 3 and 4 and we can multiply. So we could say 3 times 4. Well, what is 3 times 4? Well, that's just 3 groups of 4. Okay, so here's a group, here's a group, here's a group, and let's put 4 inside each of these. So we can say 3 times 4 is equal to 12. And both of these answers give us the right answer. So in our box, we are going to write 12. Question number 4. It says, use the information to answer the questions. Taj makes a mistake while solving an addition problem. So we know, okay, he made a mistake. So there is something incorrect. There's something incorrect about his work. Okay, so let's look at his work now. So in step 1, he's doing the addition problem, 44 plus 46, and he does 4 plus 6, and he puts his 0 down because we know 4 plus 6 is 10, so we put our 0 down. And then step 2, he does 4 plus 4 equals 8, so he gets an answer of 44 plus 46 is equal to 80. Our job is to explain which option explains the mistake Taj made. It says A. In step 1, he should have added 110 above the 4. Okay, so this is saying what Taj should have done for option 1 is he should have said 44 plus 46. 6 plus 4 is 0, and he should have added 110 above the 4. So let's put 110 above the 4. Okay, so this is option number 1. Option number 2 says for doing 44 plus 46, he should have added 100 before the 8. So he should have done 6 plus 4 is 10, put down the 0, 4 plus 4 is 8, and then we should have added a 1. We should have added a 1 right here. So that's option 2. This one would give us 90. So when you look at these problems, you should say, well, when we do addition, okay, when we have a number that's bigger than 9, because we can only put 0 through 9 through in our place values, we have to carry that 10 to the next place value. Okay, so this one, he has carried the 1 2 place values. Okay, he didn't put it in the tens place, he put it in the hundreds place, which we know that is not correct. Okay, that is not what you do. You carry it over to the next place value, which is what we did here. 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 9. So our answer for this one is going to be A. Okay, that is the mistake that he made. We're not done yet though, because it says, well, what now? What is 44 plus 46? Well, we just did that right here. We're going to enter it in the box. That's going to be 90. Okay, question number 5. It says, use the protractor tool to measure the angle. What is the measure of the angle to the nearest degree? Enter the answer in the box. We just made a video about how to name angles and how to look at angles, and we know that when we have angles, we have this little symbol. That means, so for example, that, and that symbol means degrees. It's the measurement of that angle. So we need to look here now. We have to be careful and look closely. Okay, it says to the nearest degree. So the one that it's closest to. So we're going to come up here. So we have our protractor centered on our vertex. We can see this angle right here is at 0 degrees. And then we need to now follow this angle as best as we can. So let's see if we can. It's going to be a little thicker than the line. Let's actually stop right there. And let's see. So we have 90 here, so that would be 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. Let's get a different color now. 96, 97, and this would be 98. So our answer is going to be 98 degrees. Question number 6. Let's do a new color. It says Jai measured some pencils. His data is shown. Okay, so here is Jai's data. So how many pencils, first off, did he measure? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know he measured 4 pencils. Make a line plot. So a line plot that shows data, Jai's data. Move the dots to the line plot. Now we have a picture and image on the screen, so we can't physically move the dots like you would on the NWEA test, but we can still show what that would look like. So let's just double check the measurements of his pencil. So he has 3 centimeters. He has 4 centimeters. He has 5 centimeters. And then he has another 5 centimeters. So here are his 4 pencils and the measurements of those pencils. So we can see that we are measuring the length of pencils because that is the name of this line plot. We can see the measurements are down here. So this 1 means 1 centimeter. This 2 means 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and so on. So now we just need to make dots at the correct measurements. Okay, so the first one. Well, let's put a dot at 3 centimeters. So here's 3 centimeters. So I'm going to put a dot right there. Okay, we're done with that one. Now we need to put a dot at 4 centimeters. So I'm going to go to 4. I'm going to put another dot. We're done with that one. Now I need to go to 5 centimeters. Put a dot. Well, there's that 5. But we have another one. So where do I put it? I put it right above the previous 5. There's my 4th dot. This is a line plot of Jai's data of the length of pencils he measured. 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 5 centimeters. Okay, question number 7. It says, choose 2 things Daniel would most likely do at 7:05 a.m. So this is a question that's having you think about your understanding of time and when things happen. So you'll see the first thing that we have to do is this answer has this problem has 2 answers. And we need to be thinking about most likely. Okay, so most likely means probably. Okay, these are not 100% guarantees. There are probably people that do some of these things that maybe for most of us we wouldn't do. So we're not picking the ones that are 100% fact. You're thinking about what's the most probable, what's the most likely thing for somebody to be doing at 7:05 a.m. And we know that when we see a.m., that means, well, at least for us thinking about it, that means in the morning. That's not what it literally stands for, but for context, that means in the morning. So usually before noon or before 12 p.m. Okay, so think about what are people most likely doing at 7:05 a.m., which is in the morning before noon. So let's read these and let's figure out which ones make sense. Or actually, let's think about the strategy of let's figure out the ones that don't make sense first. Let's do kind of a process of elimination. So let's start with maybe coming down here. Let's start with E. And E says, coming home from soccer practice. Well, would most people be coming home from soccer practice at 7 in the morning? Probably not. So I'm going to cross this one out. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. Okay, let's go to D now. Finish his homework after dinner. How many people do you know eat dinner in the morning when the sun is coming up or before the sun has even come up? Dinner is usually something that is done after 12 p.m. when it's becoming night. So that one doesn't make a lot of sense either. Walk his dog before school. Well, yeah, that does make a lot of sense because school, we know, starts in the morning really early, and sometimes people have chores where they have to walk the dog before. So I'm not going to cross that one out yet because that one makes some sense. B, eat breakfast. Well, yeah, I eat breakfast in the morning. Okay. I eat breakfast pretty early, so I'm not going to cross that one out either. A, go to bed. Well, this might make more sense if the question said 7:05 p.m. That seems like a reasonable bedtime for some people, but this is a.m. Okay, this is not p.m. So I'm going to cross this one out too, which you'll see leaves us with only two answers left. Okay, eating breakfast. So I'm going to color this one in. Eating breakfast and walking the dog before school. Those are my two options. Okay, question number 8. Choose all the shapes that are correctly divided into 4/4. Okay, 4/4. So we need to look at our shapes, and we know that the first thing that we're going to be thinking about is, well, we need shapes that are divided into fourths. Okay, and we know fourths would be a denominator of 4. So we can do some canceling and crossing out right from the get-go because look at this one only has 1, 2. So that's not fourths. This one has 1, 2. That's not fourths. These do have fourths. Or at least they have 4 pieces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we need to be careful though because it says 4/4. So these are going to be equal pieces, equivalent pieces. Okay, so which one of these is divided, or which ones, because it says all, so it could be more than one. Well, which one of these are divided into equal fourths, 4/4? Well, that's going to be this one and this one. You can see that these pieces right here are different sizes than these pieces right here, okay, which does not make them 4/4. So we can cross this one out too. Okay, here is our answer. So we would slide these pictures into our answer box. All right, question number 9. We're coming close to the end. The question is, choose whether the number of objects in each set is odd or even. Okay, well, here's what you need to know to be able to do this. even numbers are divisible, so that means division, divisible by 2. Okay, so let's look at these numbers and let's see if they're divisible by 2. Does 2 go into 5? Well, let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 2, I do not see a 5 in here. So 5 is not divisible by 2. So this is going to mean that this is an odd number. Okay, let's do the next one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I see 4 right here. So is 4 divisible by 2? Yes, it is, which means that this is an even number. Okay, let's do the next one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is 6, here's 6, do we have 6 divisible by 2? Yes, it is. So that means this is also going to be an even number. Okay, last but not least, question number 10. These are base 10 blocks, and it says which number do the blocks represent? Okay, well, you just need to know what the value of each of these is. So these, right here, these flats equal 100. Okay. These longs equal 10. And then you can probably guess that these individual cubes equal 1. So let's see, how many of the flats do we have? We have 2, 3, 4. So we have 100, 100, 100, 100. So that's just 400. So we have 400. How many of the longs do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. So that's 10, 10, and 10. Well, that's just going to be 30. And how many of the single cubes do we have? We have 2 of them. So that's just going to be 2. And now we can add all of these numbers up. So that's going to be 2, that's going to be 3, and that's going to be 4. So we have a sum of 432. Is that one of our options? It is. So it is going to be option number C. Okay. Please go back and watch those example problems again. You will not see these exact problems on the NWEA, but you will see problems that look exactly like this using different numbers, different words, different vocabulary, but it's going to ask you to do these types of questions. So go back, rewatch it again, practice it until you feel comfortable doing all of these. Hope that was helpful. As always, happy learning, and I'll see you in the next video.